So one of the things that NX is great at is if you want to get started in a new project or a single page application or a React or a Next front project, or use Electron for desktop applications, or Nest.js for backend, or Express for backend, you can just run a generator that's included on NX and it will create a new project for you within the monorepo that you can run. So how it works is through plugins that bundle generators and executors. So generators is just a fancy word for scripts that generate some content. It could be like an entire project, or it could modify an existing project and add its own bits. Like it could be just focused on configuration or replacing some contents on your project. And executors is fancier package JSON script with a lot more configuration. Basically, that's aware of what the NX project structure looks like or what your project configuration is stating. So it works well, right? So, and there's different flavors, there's anything you can think of any popular package NX would maintain. Like for instance, Cypress here is for testing frontend, right? It is built for compilers. Sure. Look, if I do this, there's an and Angular. All right, so you can use any one of these to kickstart your own project. NX generators is not a novel idea. I suspect someone looked at Angular generators and basically thought it was a good idea. Poor artists steal from each other. It was like great minds think alike. So the generators is all about project scaffolding and getting people going as fast as possible. I found this type of scaffolding will only get you so when you reach a certain level of maturity and you've tweaked your project the way you need to, and you start adding or integrating your own packages, or if you're in a larger organization, you start using proprietary technology, SDKs and libraries, the scaffold suddenly just isn't quite there. So template is just a term I'm using for just stealing the idea of NX generators and just reapplying it one level deep. So here's my monorepo, and I've been busy building this thing for over 2 years. It's got util packages, application. So there's backend and frontend applications in the mix. Page is a frontend application. Everything else is a backend application. I have to choose between Nest.js and Express. I really felt that because this is my own project, I just go with Express. Given that it is unopinionated, it means that tailor it to I think is needed. At the same time, that's the trade-off that you make, that you have to make decisions, whereas Nest.js will give you the. I figure out what the Express application should look like, and I found I needed to build others. I realized that I did not want to go through the same process of rebuilding a project or tweaking the configuration or something. So I came up with this idea where once you have a project that fine-tuned to your business use case or fine-tuned to your domain or using proprietary technology, what you might want to do is take that project and make a base template. So using, for instance, this is an admin gateway, right? So if I go to the admin gateway, just going to give you a quick overview. This is what the admin gateway looks like. There's a lot of stuff happening underneath. I'm defining the endpoints. These utilities are things that I built after I realized on my own that these are things that I'm going to need over and over. So I've extracted those into Express Utils. If I go to Express Utils and probably source and index, I'm exporting all the things, all the utilities in there. So if I need a new backend service, I just want to repeat the pattern and get up and running. All I need to do is run this command. The command is native to NX, is the package JSON script. It uses a plugin called NX clone. I'd like to think of it as a glorified copy paste. So say if I just run NX clone like that, it'll ask me which project would I like to clone? Well, I've got this thing called Express app. That's like my base template. If I go here, source, show you, it's got roughly the same components. I'm using the Express library, which is by design, right? So, like for instance, I just want to make sure that when the server starts, it checks that all the environment variables I deem required to be there. Otherwise, I just want for the application to fit the environment variables are not defined. Yeah, the health endpoint, something to track usage, like emitter, something to convert to request JSON, course, check like if this is like an internal backend service. There's a middleware for checking, expecting an API key. There's something for limiting the rate of requests. If it's like a public facing gateway that actually requires authentication, this thing, it's just middleware that just confirms that you're authentic. If none of the endpoints defined capture a request, it returns a 404. If anything else happens, it returns or handles errors gracefully. We like not trying to reveal what the inner workings of her server, and just returning like a sanitized thing. And then finally the start to actually start the server, right? This is what I deem to be the golden standard, at least for my own project, right? So if I go clone, which project I'd like to clone? I'd like to clone templates, Express app, right? Where would you like to clone that into, right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to define what I'm going to clone, which is templates, Express app. And the new project, it's going to be called email sender. Yeah, it's an application that's going to send emails. So the NX plugin API lets you build these questions or opt-in configuration things that are both, could be both a flag, and if a flag isn't specified and it's required, it will actually prompt you and you can define what's the default. So here I'm not including node modules. I'm resetting the package version if there's a version to reset. I am not going to include a change log if there is a change log. Same for license, I'm copying the license. For README, I'm copying the README. Fair enough, right? So I've just hit enter. And as you can see here, I've got a new project called Email Sender. And if I go to main, it's got everything I've defined in the base template. Again, I think of this as a glorified copy paste, but also it's smart enough that it will do the replacements. Like if you see here, this is Email Sender, right? So it's more than just a copy paste. It just makes sure that the configuration actually works. So that's for a backend project. So I started as a front-end engineer. So I have all these ideas of things I want to build, but I don't want to spend time building front-end components. I've been through that. I could probably just reuse something, right? But I don't necessarily want to use some library that might fall out of maintenance, right? So I bought a subscription for Tailwind UI, and it's got these bunch of different front-end UIs or experience cater for specific needs. Initially, I got them as JavaScript. I converted each of the projects. I got a dashboard I got from somewhere else. So say, for instance, I just need a new dashboard, or I just need to work on a new dashboard. What I can do then is I can do npm clone. Previously, I did not define what I wanted to clone. You can also pass templates like this forward. So this is the source, and then the target, or what I'm cloning into, is just going to be apps, admin page v2, right? So I'm just going to hit that npm, sorry, is the run here. And it's just going to do its thing. I'm just going to brush through those options. And that is going to be generated here. These are all new files. It's got its own configuration already working. So if I were to do npm run serve admin page, v2. And again, because I fine-tuned the template in a way that the configuration is just going to work when you run it, the new instance is going to work as well. Hopefully you can take the meaning that you can customize your front-end or back-end base architecture. Once you've arrived to some place that you like, you can just basically spin out new projects of that kind. And you could probably extend that to have, say, if you have a specific type of backend service that is kind of like more of an adapter versus a gateway, you can have flavors of backend template that does exactly what you want for your company or whatever it is that you're building on your own. So it takes away a lot of the mental overload or reinventing the. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to share. Have a good time. Bye.